This is Gary Vision Indigenous Network. Garifuna Suwada. Oh. Good afternoon, each and every one of you, and welcome to Indigenous News, where we are going to discuss and talk about issues that are affecting Garifuna in Belize. Hopefully, we can address issues in Honduras and Guatemala as well. But for right now, we are going to address issues that are facing Garifuna in Dangriga, and we hope that you can join us every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. as we discuss Garifuna. So today we have. Let me have you guys introduce yourselves.
I am Bill Flores, the director of the Garifuna Museum here in Los Angeles.
All right, and I'm Amadi, located here in Dangriga. Folks who know me. I'm glad for the viewers, whoever is on right now. Thank you guys. Share the live.
Hi, Joe Guerrero here, Garifuna activist. I live in Pennsylvania. I'm originally from Dangriga. By trade, I'm a nurse. Ma Penciliao, and I like it that way, to be honest with you. And we welcome you guys to this broadcast of For Garifuna Nationalists.
Absolutely, and I must say that we are considered the enemy of the state. Is that right, fellas?
Yes, I know. I was specifically.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, I think Bill is the enemy because he was specifically called out. I don't know if they specifically called Guerrero out, but I know Bill
with that designation.
And by the way, that is an awesome power for one to assume to call out who is the enemy of Garinagu and not mention everybody who did Garinagu wrong through the hundreds of years. That bill had nothing to do with, but yet he's designated enemy of the state. Some people don't know what they're doing and they need to watch how they're going about things, Francois, because it doesn't make sense. I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, what do you guys say about that, Brother Amadi?
Yeah, Francois, I think the term enemy of the state, you have to look at the person who actually used the word enemy of the state and the way how they look at power inside themselves and how they feel about controlling other people. Because if you look at somebody who is fighting for justice, right? How can a person who is fighting for justice or something righteous be an enemy of the state? I mean, that's my rationale. I don't know how, that's the rationale that I'm trying to connect. How can Bill, like I said, as the short time that I've known him, and you have this national Garifuna idea, I don't see how that would be an enemy of the Garifuna. The only way for you to be an enemy of the Garifuna people is as an enemy of the state, you're probably more than likely causing harm to the Garifuna people. If you're an enemy or an adversary, you're actually causing harm and destruction rather than building. And then again, we could contrast that with anybody here in Dangriga or whoever call themselves Garifuna and find out where the definition and where that who fit that description, who was the enemy of the state, not just by word of mouth, but by actual behavior. You know?
Yeah.
I would say, I would additionally say, Brother Francois, before you go, please, that I would really say anybody who marks themselves a PUP or a UDP are more enemy to Garinagu than anybody they can come up with. That is what I have to say. Because nobody has done more harm to Garinagu than the group of people who call themselves PUP or UDP. They have done so much harm, more harm than anybody else can ever do us, because they do it through legislation,
Right.
through the courts, and through the executive branch. So to me, people, before they designate who's enemy of the state, they may want to do a little research to find out what it actually means. But sorry for interrupting you, by.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So when you are called the enemy of the state, I guess you could be charged for treason, right?
Yeah. It sounds plausible
That
to
sounds
me.
reasonable. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Enemy of the state should be charged with treason. So whoever called Bill the enemy of the state, let him bring forth the charges.
Right.
Bring it forth.
Even to the point of overthrow. You know, you're trying to overthrow something, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's why I was saying that this social media was created for one purpose, right? And now, you know, it reached this level now where we can share information rather than just friends, right? And now some people are using it, but I don't think they're using it for a good reason. They're using it for, let's say, Bill, you can use it for a positive reason, for educating people, making people aware. You can use it just for entertaining people and building up likes. And you could use it for destroy people, right? Just to blast people. So again, from as far as I know, and as long as I've been using social media, it's only to educate and build awareness. I'm noticing that some people are using it for ill purposes, right? Just to gain this following. And then with this following, you think you become popular, and now you think you're a celebrity. And that, you know, you for some reason, you have a higher sense of value about yourself now. Right?
Yeah, you know what? And what's so funny about that is at Gary Vision, we have always talked about unity, unity. That's what we've always talked about. And we don't intend to spread hate towards anybody. Our intention here is to inform, to educate our viewers about issues that are affecting Garifuna, right? So
we're not used to use a word too, Francois. Enlighten.
Enlighten, yes.
Enlighten, right? So some people do not like it when Garavision enlighten others about the effects of their action, and we're gonna get around to that soon. We're gonna get around to that.
Yeah.
But Francois, we were here about the girls.
Yeah. But before we jump into that, let's do a quick station identification break. And then after that, we will jump into this discussion. So let's do a station identification break.
Is Garavision Indigenous Network, where the Garifuna culture thrives, from beautiful Piney by the Sea to Barranco, Georgetown, St. Mike, Hopkins, and the culture capital, Dengriga.
And you know, from the inception of Gary Vision and Indigenous Network, we have been slandered that we talk too much, that we spread negativity. But you know what? If we were weak, we would have caved in a long time ago. But we're not here to spread negativity, and we're not here to spread hate. We are just here to, like Joe said earlier, to enlighten, to empower, to educate our viewers. You know, and this is what we have done for the last, 15 years. So congratulations. I remember when Bill Guerrero and Joseph Guerrero and myself started Gary Vision, and we are doing exactly what we said we're going to be doing. So kudos to us. All right, brother Joe?
Yeah, Francois. Gary Vision has performed its function. of changing the way you look at Garifuna.
Absolutely.
And I think GaraVision has done a most wonderful job. Congratulations to you for even having the idea about GaraVision. It was, to me, it's one of the most revolutionary ideas that has come along in Garifuna Duo in a while.
Yeah. And
So, yeah, with that, I don't know, Bill, would you introduce the topic of the young ladies and the Western Dairies issue, please?
Hey, we tell them about you. Rume, but set na nishigo inevisi o wayunugo ama aharigo. La diga le hadigube awaha ya ugunye.
oh, yeah.
Warase rebeta le wawagube. La digube da lo warase rene. Good afternoon. I am Bill Flores, the enemy of the state. I just have to laugh when I say that. Yeah, and but we are here today to talk about something that's been afflicting Garinagu in Belize. Generally, what's happening to us is the result of the systemic racism that's been perpetrated upon Garinagu ever since there was a British Honduras. And this isn't new. This is just a new take on an old idea. I suggest that we just about know that the firing of these young women was illegal. And I say it's illegal because the people who did the firing have yet to give us proof as to why they were fired. The first thing they can do, they can show us all their previous employees' evaluations. And if the employee evaluation will show us how these women were treated or revered or respected or not respected in this organization.
Yeah.
Because you just don't wake up one day and fire somebody, especially if you are a new manager and don't know these people. So if this new manager come and fire somebody right away, that means she or he must have read their past employee evaluation, and upon what they read there, decided, okay, these people shouldn't be there, so I'm here, I'm going to fire them because there's a record. I am sure after about a whole week of this back and forth, we still have yet to find out why they were fired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brother.
Yeah, Brother Francois.
Yeah, but Amadi, so since you're in Dangriga, can you talk about what the atmosphere is in Dangriga now?
Well, I know the Western Dairies is still open. We have few customers still going in. I don't see it. I didn't go up to there to see. Usually weekend like this, if it should have customers, usually weekend people will come from the village, right? From maybe Pomona, 4 miles, maybe I would see people come down and usually come shop, but I haven't seen it. But Francois, they had the town hall. They had a town hall meeting about these this Western Dairies incident with these Garifuna women. And at the town hall meeting, one of the board members from the National Garifuna Council, Ifasina, was there, and she quoted that from the Section 37 of the labor law that the Western Dairies claim that it was according to the Section 37 of the labor law why the women were fired, and she went into some, I can break that down for you and just show it's contrary to law, right? She read out chapter Section 37 of the labor law, right? This is how crazy it is that she read out that first you got once you're hired for 2 weeks, you need 1 week notice before you're fired. If you're 6 months, you need 2 weeks. If you're 1 year, so she spelled out the labor law, section 37.
Yeah.
Right. This is the first section of the labor law. Then she went on to the second part of the labor law where the company can fire you without notice. And I think she talked about for gross misconduct. You know, you would have been like theft, fighting, you know, and being hostile in the environment. Those are immediate termination, I understand. So now she claimed and she went back and kind of doubted herself whether there's any legal grounds for the woman to prevail if they should take legal action. Now, she is asking the question whether there's legal grounds, but she just recited all the legal protection of a worker. Right. You follow me? She just cited all the protection the workers have and turned around and says, well, we need legal grounds first. Then not only that, on top of the labor law that she's talking about, our show was before the town hall meeting, right? And we talked about it was not necessarily about the labor law. These women claim discrimination, and that is under the Constitution. You got equal protection of the law, freedom from discrimination. Those constitutional law trump any labor law. Western District could count section 37 all they want. You violated the Constitution. Your section labor law has to be conformed with the Constitution, right? So for any doubt about whether these women were terminated based on their race or based on their Garifuna identity, I say it's more plausible than not plausible. So that's why I'm saying that the first thing what should have happened, the woman who the manager there that the women were complaining about should have been suspended or fired or something pending investigation.
Yeah. Brother Joe?
Okay. When I first heard about this case, I just observed because I didn't know any of the details therein. And I received some calls from people giving one story, two stories, and I won't share what those stories were. And then I saw the letter from Western Dairies explaining the corporate position of the firing. Okay? So Western Dairies presented a wonderful case to defend their actions. Now, if you zoom in and you look closer at home, these young ladies had been working for a year plus in some of the cases. And they got a new manager. Apparently one manager was let go, and the new manager, a non-Garifuna, came, and according to the young ladies, they had been working in harmony for a year, helping each other. They were overlapping in their duties, which is a good thing to the company. And this new manager could not find one single thing that any of them were doing correctly. Here in the US, we have a couple of terms for when things like that happen. We say they were railroaded, which means they were put on a track. And when you're on a railroad track, you don't control where you go. It's the track that controls where you go. So they were railroaded by this new manager who could not find a single thing that they did right. And the new manager started to manufacture a case over the 3 months time that she was there. And over the 3 months' time, she started to manufacture all kinds of things that did not occur
Yeah, Joe,
previous to this person coming.
Joe, can you hold on for 1 second? Let me just say this: the women did one thing right. One thing right they did. They were all Garifuna.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that they did correctly.
Yeah.
So now this new manager has already built a railroad track that leads right out the door of employment.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening in that 3 months' time.
Yeah.
And it came to head when she issued the letter to one lady said to 3 of her colleagues, and she didn't even bother reporting for work. She just went to get her letter, which she knew if they had fired the other 3, then they had to have fired her as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the young ladies are claiming. Okay? For Western Dairy's part, they issued their letter where they gave an overview of the corporate legal position.
Mm-hmm.
They did not address any specificity except to say it was a corporate decision to let go of those 4 Garifuna women plus the previous management. Only to find, according to what one young lady said in the interview or on one of the subsequent videos I saw from Daifa and from Robert Mariano. One young lady said that the new management immediately proceeded to hire their relatives. All of that person's relatives are now working at the Western Dairies. And Western Dairies seems to be pretending they don't see this. If you are a responsible corporation with a wonderful record as stated by Western Dairies, then surely they should also be seeing the injustice of this railroading. And another word for railroading, Belize may use is harassment. Okay, in Belize they may say the term harassment. That is, they're finding nothing. They had nothing wrong before. Now a new management comes and they can find nothing they're doing correctly.
So
nothing at all.
So Brother Joe, Brother Bill, and Brother Amadi. So what are the ramifications after all these after these firings? What are the ramifications?
Well, I think we have seen the ramification, which is those 4 young ladies plus the previous manager, they no longer have an income. The other ramification to the society as a whole in Dangriga is that Garifuna within their own settlement are now vulnerable to what appears to be racism in their own village.
Very much so.
Dangriga is a Garifuna village. Now, Dangriga has been used and abused by UDP and PUP throughout the years, where even in the 60s and 70s, everybody was getting a title to Dangriga land except Garifuna during those times. And that's what happened to imbalance the population in Dangriga. It was intentional. And now Garifuna will sit idly by with their hands to their side while racism is blatantly practiced upon them. Well, the ones who took charge, Robert Mariano, Daifa, and Mariano is the current mayor, Daifa radio station, headed by Maurice Herrera, and frequented by Charlie Marr. And the National Garifuna Council, as far as personally I have seen and I'm aware of, they are the ones who seem to be taking charge. Now, so far, there has been very little in terms of suggesting resolutions. So those are the ramifications on the Garifuna side. The ramifications that I've seen on the new management side is they're rid of Garifuna at Western Dairies in Dangriga, in the heart of Dangriga. And the family of the new management seem to have jobs that were once held by those Garinaga women. And we don't know, as Bill said, what the records are. If they're so horrible, they were living in harmony, according to them, no write-up, no nothing, in the time that they were there. Then suddenly this new management come, and they, from the beginning, they could do nothing correct.
Yeah.
The new management is suddenly informing all of them, oh, you're not doing your job. So they get people who have never worked there before. Are they doing the job? Are they really that perfect from day one?
Yeah.
There are questions to be asked here.
Yeah, brother Amadi, can you switch your phone, your camera? Yeah, Bill?
Yeah. My concern is this happening in Africa. And it was
No, Bill, you fine. You fine. No, I was just asking you, you have something to say?
Oh yeah. It makes me think about the incident at the bank when the Garifuna woman was fired for speaking Garifuna in the bank.
Yeah.
This takes me back to that moment. I remember this is happening in Dangriga. Dangriga, Abagarino. And they even, and everybody is aware of what Dangriga is because it is considered the culture capital of Belize.
Yeah.
And that culture that they're related to is Garifuna culture. Now, if our culture is so important enough to have that designation, what about respecting the people of that culture?
Yeah. Yeah, you still...
And this is my concern. And what's happening here is just one incident that adds to the systemic racism.
Yeah.
And and people get afraid of that word whenever you use racism, everybody gets excited. But let me explain what I mean when I say the systemic racism of Garifuna in Belize. If you were to look at the voting population of the Sand Creek district, including the town and the villages and the outskirts, and you can even add the Toledo district to it. But look at the amount of representatives for all these voters and this vast area compared to how many representatives are representing Belize City.
Yeah.
See, that's disrespectful. Another thing that's added to this systemic racism is that there is not even one Garifuna in the government. Let me say that again. There isn't even one identifiable Garifuna in the government. No representative, no senator, not in the government at all. See, that's what it looked like. The system of racism is hindering the advancement of what is probably per capita the most educated group in Belize. So you can see where the system is involved. If you look at the jobs in Belize, they don't hire us to work in the hotels or in the tourist industry. even though the only part we play in the tourist industry is dancing punta and cooking hudutu. That's the level of our participation.
Yeah, but Bill, so what do you say is the solution for this?
Well, we have an opening here. This incident at Western Dairies, if we boycott every Mennonite business in Dangriga, not just the Western Dairies, but every Mennonite-run business in Dangriga, the depletion of their dollars will reiterate how important we are.
Okay, let me ask Brother Amadi this question. Brother Amadi, do you think it's possible to really boycott every Mennonite business in Dangriga? Do you see that happening?
Francois, it's the ideal thing to do, but I don't see it. But it's possible because in order to do a boycott with the Mennonites, it would have to be organized. Make sure that, because again, we already know there'll be some hard-head Garifuna people, so we need people to be outside, make sure you discourage them. Don't go there, don't go, we have people, boycott has to be something organized. You can't just say boycott and we post it and expect nobody not going to Fiesta, nobody going to Hummingbird.
And that's what I'm talking.
Yeah, there has to be an organizing and make sure that let's say, for example, this is the problem that's going to arise. When somebody wants chicken, they say, well, where will I buy chicken? If you want to buy something for your car parts, so we're going to need to find out who are we going to buy things from during the boycott. If you want car parts, somebody needs to go to Belize City or Belmopan to bring it down. If you want vegetables, because the Mennonites provide vegetables. If you want onions, sweet pepper, who are you going to get it from? So it's going to have to be something organized.
Amadi, allow me to add something into what you said, which is right. When Dr. King planned the Montgomery bus boycott, everybody didn't agree, and he didn't expect everybody to agree.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he understood that if you're going to boycott, there's going to be some suffering and some sacrifice involved in it. People walk 12, 15 miles to their jobs.
Right.
And then so what they did, then they started using individual cars and took care of that problem.
Right.
The same thing happened when Mahatma Gandhi boycotted the industries controlled by the British in India.
Yeah.
I just want my people to understand that if you want to accomplish something, there will be pain and there will be sacrifice, but in the end, it will be profitable. It will be worth it.
I was describing, actually, whenever I get into this stuff, I did my homework and I was actually describing the Montgomery boycott to you because that's exactly the strategy I was thinking. They organize in churches and schools, and they organize how to do the boycott. They use churches and schools. Those are location drop off and pick up. So it's because again our so-called leaders, lazy-minded individual. That's why I would always call them out. I would always challenge them because the blueprint is already there for a successful path. It's just us. It's just a willing mind and able bodies to execute the plan.
Yeah. Brother Joe, are you still there? I guess we lost Brother Joe. But my question.
No, I'm here. I'm here, Francois.
Wake up, Joe. Barry hands up. So, yes, I agree that boycotting seems to be the solution here. But the boycotting shouldn't be just a statement for the four young ladies. They are a symbol, a broader issue of being discriminated against in a most important
village in Belize, founded by Garifuna and
Yeah,
abused
there are all
by
our
the
Rosa
political
Parks.
parties.
All the young ladies are our Rosa Parks.
They are symbolic. So this is not because you know how we stand. Oh, I don't like that one there because like this and da 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 da. It's not about that. We have to grow up and mature.
There you go.
Right.
These young ladies are symbolic, and it's bigger than them whether they agree to a boycott or not. It's bigger than them. They are symbolic of the wider issue of being discriminated against in, of all places, Dangriga, and being discriminated at as a Garifuna.
Right.
That's what this is about. Now, Western dairies, let's have disclaimers here. Let's tell the full story. They have denied discriminating.
Right.
And you know something? I don't believe the corporate office discriminated. But if the corporate office thinks
Right.
that they will be held indemnified because it was the action of the local racist manager and not the corporate racism, the corporation was the one that hired the racist.
That's right.
You, the corporation, did not do your due diligence and thus exposed Garifuna to the racism of this person you hired. So don't come and think you're going to hide behind corporate indemnification. In our work here, brother. In our work here, Garifuna are too intelligent. We see right through you. You hear these four intelligent my pencil talk? Well, except Bill, he got pencil.
Yeah.
Bill is certified.
Well, we need at least one. We need at least one that pencil.
Hey, don't put it on me.
I like can't be my pencil.
Hey, wait. Bill is considered an enemy of state, and he's got pencil.
Bye.
Okay, hey, let me add something to this conversation too that I just thought about. The Commerce Bight Pier is the best deep water site in all of Belize. But because it's in Dangriga and it's going to benefit Garifuna, they're trying to build one somewhere else.
Right.
That's just add to the systemic racism.
Let them. That's the best thing that they can do for us and leave us the F alone with our Commerce Bight. That's what I say. Yes, let them. I don't want them nowhere near the Commerce Bight. Nowhere near. Because anything they do, they're going to destroy what we Garifuna have preserved all these hundreds of years through our Garifuna duo and our way of managing the environment. We are the ones who had saved that thing for the PUP government at the time to abuse us and tell us we can't go there and sell that privately to people. This is what I mean. Those four young ladies, this is bigger than them now.
It really is, man. It really
and
is.
This thing here, this small thing in Dangriga, at the heart of Dangriga. I mean, right there where that happened is the heart of Dangriga.
Yeah, but
how are people going to stay there and tolerate that? An organization of a boycott must be performed without haste.
Yeah.
And if DIFA, Robert Mariano, NGC are worth one iota, they will make sure this happens now.
Absolutely. No, I agree. And these Garifuna women, they need our support now. All right, they need our support now. So I wish I was there in Dangriga because I was gonna light the fire, not a physical fire, but I was gonna light the fire. But anyways. But Amadi, since you are in Dangriga, can you get some footage for us of what's happening in Western Dairies?
Sure, yeah, I could do that, Francois.
Yeah.
You know what, Francois? Bill actually opened my eyes to something. It's like You sense something, but you don't really know what it is, but you feel something is wrong. And then later on, I spoke with Bill and he kind of explained something to me. And this is what I come to realize that, and I want to show this on maybe on the upcoming show on Tuesday. And this is a bold claim that I'm about to make, you know. And I will again, it's kind of come from Bill, that the board members of the National Garifuna Council are enemies of the Garifuna people, right? They are the primary forces of a silent cultural erosion. And I want to expose that to eventually I'll expose that to the people with their own from them. Just the videos that you see that go around. I pick up on the word, maybe the viewers haven't picked up on it, but when we put it together and we challenge what they say, you will find out that the National Garifuna, the board members, not the organization itself, but well, even the organization, because it's in the memo that needs to be amended, but it is anti-Garifuna. And that's why it comes down to what happened to these young women that I realized that even when I work with Orway during the 2025 general election, it started dawn on me when I talked to Bill now, and he says that don't mention you cannot win on a platform on pro-Garifuna, you have to be all-inclusive. So it dawned on me in a psychological kind of way, like, oh, so really you guys are pushing this idea that Dangriga is not Garifuna, is not all the, and it started to dawn on me why you have to say Dangriga, Ho, Crip, Sarawi, but you can't just directly say I am for Garifuna people because according to them, you know I win. That's the idea, that's the mentality. I am against that mentality. I want to change that mentality that if you're a Garifuna, there's absolutely 100% you have to win. You shouldn't have no doubt about losing. So again, that's my philosophy, and that's how I'm sending it, and that's why I'm saying the board members of the National Garifuna Council are totally opposite. They're saying that anybody can lead the Garifuna people, and I am saying only Garifuna people can lead the Garifuna people, and I'm firm on that. There's absolutely no compromise.
You know what? For the last 2 weeks, we spoke about the mindset, right? The mindset needs to be changed. So let me read a comment here from Michael Flores, who I really support. Michael Flores says, cultural and mental emancipation, culture and education, culture and economic development, culture of doctrination, culture of liberation, culture of inferiority conflicts, and so much more aspect of culture. But we focus on the culture of entertainment. You hear that? It seems like we focus only on the culture of entertainment and shaking our booties, because I don't see
not artistry, entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
hold on.
You know something? What happens is Garinago are portrayed that way as entertainers, but really and truly, the biggest annual event in Belize was established by my uncle Gatsman Ellis, the agriculture show. And Bill was one of the founding people who helped to organize the first agriculture show. Those things were done by Garifuna, but we're not highlighted. Belmopan, the city where it's located, where the capital is located, is founded by a Garifuna person. George Price was the leader. He was the premier at the time, but it was founded by a Garifuna person. He was the one who said George Price wanted it to be on the other side where it was not as high. And the guy said, no, that's going to flood. And he put it there where it is today. Garifuna people have done so much as intelligent people for Belize. We are the ones who brought the entire country to be under real British rule as a country, because we are the ones who went into the bush. We taught the Mayas in the bush. We taught the Mayas in the towns and so on in the north. We taught them. Garifuna teachers travel. And what did we teach them? How to use the British system for their advantage. That's what we taught them.
Joe, because you mentioned that, let me explain the cost of those teachers. of losing
Sure.
this teacher.
Yes, there was a cost to Garifuna. Yes, go ahead.
And Franzo and I was talking about it. I think this week we talked about it, about how they took our best and brightest away, denying us of our leadership development. You know, when they took these people away.
I agree. But you know
And
something?
another thing, and another thing, Franzo and I talked about, we talked about the Honorable Rudy McCoy. And Joe, go on. I'll finish it after
Who
you talk.
started the social security system, right?
Yeah, but prior to him getting there, that's what Franzo and I had the conversation about. For 2 terms,
Yeah.
he was a minister without portfolio.
Wow.
And I don't know if you guys or the audience
Understand what that means?
When you don't,
Wow.
Franzo, you want to take that? You want to explain what it means?
No.
Not having a portfolio?
No, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, well, not having a portfolio means that, say, if I'm the minister of labor and you're the minister of health, and you want something passed in your ministry, but I don't fully agree with it, you'll tell me, well, Bill, okay, please, man, I need this. So vote with me, and this time I'll vote with you, but then you owe me something. But if I'm not a minister of anything, I can't owe you nothing because I not got nothing to owe you.
You have no say. No.
So there is absolutely no power, no bargaining power in his, because he was representing us without any bargaining power.
You know,
Yeah,
you,
but
you
Bill-
know what? You know what, Bill and Joe? You know what, guys?
Who started the social security system?
No.
Yeah, afterwards, after his 3rd term.
Yeah.
People got to know that.
Joe, you said earlier, Bill, that they took the brightest of the Garifuna people, right? You know what? I believe that the ones who they took, they were educated, but they weren't intelligent, right? Because if they were intelligent, they would have read the play and saw exactly what was going to happen. You agree?
Or they were just trained and not educated.
Now we were on Michael Flores's point where we are looked at as entertainers. What they're trying to push, but my point being that we are intellectual, very intellectual and diplomatic people. It's built in the culture. We are. But what happened is that our intelligence is never highlighted. Dr. Aranda was a highly intelligent person. He got a lot done without the help of the government when he was a minister, because he was that intelligent. They didn't support what Dr. Aranda was doing, building all those hospitals, building all those bridges. Dr. Aranda had to go and look for his own funding. So we are intelligent people. Maybe that's a fear in the other societies and beliefs. I don't know.
Well,
But
then
bring that nonsense to Dangrega.
yeah, then I guess it's time for us to
places
it's time for us
like
to
the jetty.
it's time for us
To
to
bring
use
that-
our intelligence, brother
What
Joe.
is that point called? Gentlemen, what is that point called at the jetty where you can stand up there and see Hopkins on the other side? What's that point called? There's some. I know it has a name that it was
Down
now.
point?
No.
Point.
It's right there. It's right there at the jetty, man. Yeah, and when you keep going down, when you go to a jetty, you keep going down. You reach a place where you're gonna see Hopkins. It's like it's the point. It's like you see like a bay-like area there. But anyway,
That's not going right, is it?
that is all Garifuna territory that we use. I don't want to hear one nonsense from this. And by the way, this seemed to have been sealed with the new minister, whose family, just by coincidence, happened to have gotten that area. I'm sure it's just by coincidence. And who the hell put this minister there to do this, knowing he was going to do this with his family?
Well,
Who?
the people. Listen. They took $75 for the vote, and that's what happened.
And
We
he
have to
did say
stop.
he did say that's what he was going to do.
Yeah, well, we have to stop being complicit in our own demise. That's why I said in the beginning, the enemy of the state are the PUP and the UDP. They are the ones doing this to us.
Right.
So any Garifuna who identify as a PUP, oh, I want ban PUP and I want dead PUP. Proud, wear that proud. You ask them if they were dead for a Garifuna.
The hell no.
You understand? I ban UDP, I want dead UDP. How about Garifuna?
Well,
What about me?
Well, Joe. You know, I was born Garifuna. I will die Garifuna, and I will advocate until I die for the rights of Garifuna people. And I know
Exactly.
And I know,
That's why,
Brother
Francois,
Joe.
you say Garifuna Suwada.
Yes, exactly.
You're the one I learned that expression from. Garifuna Suwada.
Yeah.
That's a part of your call thing with Gary Vision, which I think is extremely important.
It is. Oh,
It's important.
And talking about Garifuna Suwada, there are some people in Dangriga right now who think that because we in the United States that we don't count.
Right.
What do you guys say
Because
about?
we're in the US, and that we have to have a whole show on that one there.
Yeah. Well, I just broke that down the last time, Francois, with the economic contribution of the Garifuna in the U.S.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
how
saw
much
that.
they
That was
contribute.
good. Yeah,
Right,
I saw
so,
that. That was good, Brother Amadi. That was really good.
Yeah. So, Francois, you know, you talked about they kind of give a historic point of the why we are not organized, right? But as far as I've been researching too, and when it comes to research, you just have to kind of analyze and put things together because it's not in black and white, right? But basically, what I get that before politics, before POP and UDP, right? Garifuna people constantly try to organize, but I think that whenever they do try to organize, if they were trying to organize for self-determination, that was crushed. Some of them going to jail, like I mentioned, they get arrested or whatever. They break that fight, that will. And only the ones who were willing to comply survive. So that all the remnants was the non-fighters. All the fighters died, went to jail, deported or whatever it is. All the men who were willing to fight and resist, gone. Only the weak ones were left, but now we still have that spirit in us, and now we have that knowledge. That's what I'm saying, that we are a new generation now. We have to see that why our fathers and grandfathers didn't fight, because of the example that was set by their grandfathers who suffered mistreatment, maybe deportation, beat up, and so the great grandfathers who fought and was trying to resist us, those were example to us not to resist, right? So now,
Brother Amadi, all of this now, I hear what you're saying, and as you're talking, right, I tend to look at the perspective, and you're doing it within a historical context, and all those things that you're talking about happen is coming off of the historical context of being transformed into Christians. Because in Yorume, we were not Christians. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
In Yorume, we were, and that was the problem because we were not Christians in Yorume.
Right.
That was the problem that they had with us. We didn't want to convert.
Right.
And that's why the British came and tried to take our land from us, because as Christians, we would have given it to them and they would have given us the book, the Bible, as the Desmond Tutu say, Yeah. They told us to close our eyes and pray. And then when we opened our eyes, we had the Bible and they had our land. Mm-hmm. And basically, that metaphor is what you are saying, Brother Amadi, because all that comes in the heel of transforming into Christianity.
Yeah.
All of that. After Christianity, then those nonsense started to happen. We should have stuck with our own dugu. We should have stuck with that. I mean, I personally am not that spiritual, but if you tell me I have to be or I'll die, I'll choose dugu.
That's right. That's
you understand? But we should have stuck with that and not even put their white saints in our dugu, because we didn't have that in Yorume. I don't want people to get twisted and think those things happened in Yorume. They did not. Nobody knew about any of that stuff until after exile and the acceptance of Christianity starting like in the 1820s, 30s, and so on and so forth. That's when all of that nonsense started with Christianity.
Well, well, guys, listen. This is our premiere show for Saturday, and it's our first show, and we like to keep it an hour. So we are almost at that hour already. You see how time flies when we're having fun. Yeah. But listen, we have been talking about changing the mindset for 3 weeks, man, and now this is the time. Now these women who got fired, this is a wake up call for every one of us to change our mindset. This is a wake up call to do what Michael Flores is doing. Own your land, farm your land, live off your land, and if you're able to feed the community off your land, then you feed your community off your land. So this is the time now that we need to change the mindset to the growth mindset. Change our mindset from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset, and change our community. Because listen, we are in dire strait right now. The Garifuna Nation, we are in need, and we have the solution. The solution is the land. The solution is the land. Get the land, farm the land, work the land, and feed your community off the land. Brother Bill, Brother Marty, Brother Joe.
Okay. It's time for our parting words, no?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to say, first of all, to the young ladies who were discriminated against, and that is now my conclusion, because of the weak corporate response, is that they were discriminated against. I believe that the Corporation of Western Dairies will try to indemnify itself from the racism practiced by the person that they hired. And I do not think that it is possible for them to separate themselves from the people who they hired to practice the racism. Any and all corporations in Belize who have staff that will discriminate against any Black, or especially Garifuna and Maya, the indigenous people, then that corporation must answer and must pay for the discrimination practiced by their employees, even if the corporation does not tell them to. That's one part. The second part is, these young ladies, they must, not for their own sake, but for the sake of that entire community, continue on this fight for justice. The community, on the other hand, must support these young ladies' fight for justice. If there is any kind of leadership, thirdly, in Belize, DIFA was the one who I first saw this report with, from something that someone showed me, because DIFA has blocked myself from seeing any of their broadcasts or any of the things that they put out.
He has blocked me too.
So I had to depend on someone to show me or take a screenshot of what DIFA had posted. So DIFA wants to be a leader in the community and bring out these things. Well, DIFA, you have a responsibility to follow through to see that it gets done. Thirdly, the National Garifuna Council, of course, as usual, was always the last one to say anything. And I don't even know if at the time when Asina was on Robert's program or wherever I saw her with Ubafo, I don't even know if she was representing NGC, because she was not clear that she was representing them. When she goes on the air in public and she is speaking, she must identify if she's talking as an NGC person or just as a private person, which is okay. But NGC, if they are supposedly supposed to represent the legal rights of Garifuna in Belize, because the government will consult with them on all things legal for Garinaga. So far, the NGC has done anything that you can possibly do to mess up and screw up Garifuna legally. They have done it. They have found a way. That's all I have ever seen come from them. And I am just being honest. Because remember, gentlemen, when we first started as Garavision, NGC was dead set against the rights of the indigenous people. They are not going to get a pass for that. Yeah. Not from yours truly. They do not and will never get a pass for not stepping up to the plate as a responsible leader when they could have. This guy does not give them a pass. However, that doesn't mean they cannot help and they cannot participate when their people need them, and stop selling us out to the powers that be. Stop it. Thank you.
All right, Brother Bill.
Joe, Joe reminds me of when Joe was talking, I keep remembering page 4 of the infamous affidavit, where NGC, the leader of NGC, clearly states that we do not want our indigenous status because we will allow the government of Belize to develop the South. That's page 4 from the infamous affidavit at the refusal of the invitation to join the Maya in a land rights case. Now, let me get to what I'm talking. I talk about boycott. I understand the difficulty of boycott. And why the boycott is so difficult is because we don't go to the farms anymore. We don't feed ourselves anymore. And it's because we're living outside of the Garifuna value system. Because our value system is not materialistic. Our value system is not to desire the plates and food of others. Mm-hmm. Our value system is not to go against each other.
Yeah.
Our value system is not to label each other, especially as enemy of the state. But one thing we can do for sure, I know that there are people in Dangriga that are doing farming who are not Garifuna, but the food, the product is available. Don't get the product from the Mennonites, because the Mennonites must see the depletion of their income because of this incident. And with that, I want to say, Sereme.
Yeah, Brother Marty.
Yeah, Francois. Well, I agree with the guy. I agree with our fellas, man. I'm playing my part. I'm doing. I don't see much reason for me to go to any one of these stores anytime soon. I encourage other people. I know, like I said, that's how we do it. Encourage the people next to you, and just let them know, give them the reason why we should not support these type of businesses. And as more information come up, so we'll keep the viewers, if they're not in Dangriga, we'll keep them updated from this side. Until then, thanks again for joining us at the Garivision Indigenous Network, man.
Okay, and then for me, I would like to say to everybody in Dangriga, we need to boycott. We need to boycott, and we need to organize. Living off the land is not that difficult. It's not that impossible to do. You have land, you work your land. You have land, you plant your food on your land. You have land, you plant your land. You cultivate your land, and that's the way to go. That's the way to go. You know what? I always talk about Mike Flores, man, because I don't know anyone else in Dangriga who is doing what Michael Flores is doing. I know Brother Leonidas Sanchez in PG. He is living off the land, and it's possible. It's possible. So let's all support these 4 women, and if they need help from us, let's support them. You know what? Let's change the mindset because Garif Nawagi and Suwanda, and we need to enlighten, empower, educate our people. And with that, I would say good evening to each and every one of you again. And this is our first show, Indigenous News, and we're going to continue again next week at the same time, Saturday at 3:30 p.m. for another broadcast of the Indigenous News. Thank you, Bill Flores. Thank you, Joe Guerrero. Thank you, Madelino. Thank to all our viewers, Evan Hill, Archangel Sab, Crad Flo, Michael Flores, Gary Global, Joe Guerrero. Yeah, thanks to each and every one of you, man, and we really do appreciate you. And thanks for following us, thanks for viewing us, and thanks for sharing the live. So until next week, Saturday, we'll say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Stay tuned. Let's not forget to give thanks to the lady behind the controls, Melissa Rock. Melissa Rock, you're doing a marvelous job, and I really do appreciate you. So until next week, we're out.
Of course she's doing a marvelous job. She's related to me.
Yeah, of course. What do you mean?
Right, Joe? She's our cousin, Joe. Thank you.
This is Gary Vision Indigenous Network. Garifuna Suwada.